Hopefully customs is coming soon because doing these videos is very painful when you have people shooting at you. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and today I have another best turret placement guide for you. But before I even get into what map we're doing today, I need you all to stop calling this thing a turret. There is no N in turret. It's T-U-R-R-E-T, turret. Now that we got that cleared up, I'm going to show you the best turret placements on zone control, both on attack and defense, and on escort on defense, in our turret guide today, which takes place on one of the best linear style maps, Zoo. Obviously, we don't do attack on escort just because the package is constantly moving. That's the goal. So setting up turrets is kind of pointless, especially when you only get them back every 35 seconds. So let's just jump right into it. And first up on zone control on attack, we have Zone A, otherwise known as Polar, or as I like to call it, Penguin Room. So while you may be attacking, you need to defend these majestic penguins. So what you're going to do for Zone A is put your turret down right here on the ledge in front of these penguin statues, and this will allow you to cover all entrances to the room with one turret. Moving across the street to Zone B, I actually found that someone else already had their turret set up in the spot that I was going to, so I'm just going to use their turret here for an example. This is one of two places you could put this turret for this zone. The other one is more of a defensive spot, so I'll hold off on that until we switch sides. Moving up ahead to Zone C, capturing the right side of the map in the blue hallway is crucial to moving past both Zone C and this stretch in escort. If the enemy team controls this hallway and that top ledge, you're going to have a rough time getting through here. So immediately you want to make a beeline for this top ledge and throw your turret down right here, sit with it, and just take over the spot. It's going to help you take down anyone trying to get to the zone. Just be sure to keep an eye on the doorway so no one sneaks up on you. You could also play this by placing the turret at the top of the ramp in the blue hall. That way you'll be alerted if someone is coming from that way. But assuming you have a good headset and the footstep audio works that game, this is probably the better move. Moving up to Zone D, there is a little planter with a statue in it that you can place your turret down, and this will help with covering the whole front side of the zone, as well as part of the rear if they try to flank. You could use this spot for defense as well because it's well hidden, but I have an even better spot, so stay tuned for that. Zone E is a tricky one to get down because the enemy team spawns so close that it's tough to get here sometimes. But if you can get there, on the left side of the zone, there are two boxes you can jump on before mantling up the ledge on the top left. Set the turret on these boxes and it'll have a great line of sight on anyone entering this zone. That about covers it for attack, so let's go ahead and flip over to the defensive side and get up to Zone A. And while you can't get it to sit on top of the statues' heads, because I've tried, it would be a good spot, but sadly just doesn't work. Instead, you'll have to just settle for one of two spots here. The first being familiar, as this is pretty much the same exact spot we talked about on offense, and the other spot is this tiny ledge a little further up on the wall on the left side. Putting it here will help prevent them from even getting to the zone without at least putting up a fight. Moving over to Zone B, this one is a little tricky and requires good timing. So what you'll do is you'll run up through the back of Zone B, and just to the right of this doorway, there's a taller rock formation against the wall. You'll climb up on the small rock next to it, line up your shot, jump once to test to make sure that it's going to reach, and then time your jump and release the ability button to throw it on top of this rock. You'll see that it has a great line of sight everywhere, even over that little half wall that sits in the middle of the enclosure. And sadly, mine gets EMP'd here, but it is a great spot. Zone C is going to be pretty much the same as offense, top blue hallway, but an alternate location for defense is a little further up to prevent them from even getting to the zone. Just outside of the first defensive spawn area is a spot you can climb up on and toss the turret on top of this sign that'll catch just about anyone coming through that door off guard. And if you sit here with this turret, it'll get you plenty of easy kills. Moving up to Zone D, outside of the second defensive spawn area on the right side, there's a metal gate next to a big rock formation. You can't put the turret on top of the post, but you can throw it next to it just on top of the gate. It blends in amazingly well, and if turrets weren't so damn loud, people would never even know it was there until it started shooting them. Then last but not least is Zone E. Now this footage was recorded before the patch where it can no longer shoot through things that it can't see over. So while you can't do this exact placement anymore, you can throw it just on the top of the ledge that doesn't have any yellow paint on it. But either way, you're going to want to sit with this one and just hold the zone. Just be sure to check that top right walkway occasionally and make sure no one's sneaking up on you. This spot alone has helped me win so many ranked games, including the 3v4 ranked game I posted a video about not too long ago. So if you want to go check that out, make sure to head over to my channel and take a look at that one. So that covers all of the best zone control spots. Let's go ahead and hop on over to Escort and cook up some fire spots on there. And while we wait for Escort to load in, I do want to remind you of our Discord server, and customs will be coming very soon, maybe even sooner than you think. And I have plenty of tournaments planned, so make sure to go ahead and join the Discord if you want to participate in any of those. Link for that will be in the description of this video, but let's get back to business. At the very start of the Escort trail, there is a safari truck with boxes in the back. Is that a penguin in the driver's seat?
It's too damn hot for a penguin to be just walking around here. I gotta send him back to the South Pole.
So you don't want to throw the turret on top of the back of the boxes. What you want to do is throw it on the roof of the truck so it has a few boxes in front of it for some sort of cover. You can play here with the turret and fend off anyone who tries to get close, and a lot of times it's just easy kills. A little further back from that first spot there is another safari truck, thankfully no penguin driving this time, and it has a large container in the back, and naturally this is where we want to throw our turret. This will also cover anyone who tries to come up through Polar on the right side through the blue hallway. An alternate spot that will not cover the blue hallway is the opposite side of the road on these rocks here. A little more stealthy but doesn't cover as much range. Definitely prefer on top of the truck. Moving back to the final stretch of the first checkpoint, there are two trash cans located in opposite corners on the corner of each of these buildings, and you can place a turret on either one. If they get through the first checkpoint, you can use the same spot I showed off for zone control to try to prevent them from pushing it up further, but for Escort I'd actually recommend a different place. Most smooth brain players would just toss the turret here, dead center for all to see as they bust through the first checkpoint. If there's one thing you take away from all of these videos, it's you want to place your turret with a little height advantage when possible. So instead, we're going to put our turret on the right side on the rocks here and give it just a little height. The next spot is just down this ramp on the rock formation here, and it covers a good bit of this area. It's still not a better spot than up on the blue hallway side if you could take control of this and set the turret right here on the edge on the platform. However, if for any reason you can't seem to get control of this quick enough, you could back it up some, and before the update you used to be able to just set it right here behind this ledge, but we can't do that anymore. So instead now you just toss it up on top of the ledge. It still covers all the same area, just with a little less cover. A little further back, you can also place the turret on this information board here, and it'll cover a good portion of the area as well. And now here's a bonus one. You can use this on zone control as well, as this section is already pre-blown open, but on Escort, they need to reach this checkpoint first before you can place it. So with that being said, it is very difficult to get this set up on Escort, but if you can, it's definitely a rewarding spot. Once they hit this checkpoint and this blows open, there's a piece of metal that sticks straight out from the top of the wall, and you can place your turret on that by climbing up the two boxes on the right side, and you can sort of see where it's supposed to sit by the outline, but it won't stay there now because it's not open yet. If you can't manage to set it up on top of there, don't worry, I have a backup spot. All you gotta do is go around the sign where they first come out of that checkpoint, and there's several places you can put the turret here. It can go here on the rocks, or if you're nimble enough and time it just right, you can even get it on top of this house here. You know, if you're not dumb like me, you could put it on this trash can on the other side, or you can back it up some and place it in the small planter with the sign in it. All of these spots will watch this area, but an even better spot is right on the top of the post under the Lion Observatory sign. This spot will surprise anyone that comes up to it and sees a lot of area leading up to and leading away from this choke point. I really wish they would just make the turret quieter when it's not shooting. Now that we're in the final stretch, we're coming up to our last two spots, and just like the final zone for defense on zone control, one of those two spots is going to be right here up on the ledge. And then last but not least, right on top of this iron cage outside of the final defensive spawn area, this will even cover anyone coming up from underneath or the side walkway. So that about covers all of the best spots on Zoo. Escort will never really have any crazy spots because the path of the package just sort of dictates where you want to place them for the most efficiency and the best chance of either slowing them down or getting kills. The smaller maps are a lot more fun because of the different game modes that you can play on them. And once custom games comes out, I'll be sure to have all of those maps covered as well, so you can see all the best and also all the craziest places that you could set up these turrets. Speaking of crazy places, check out this spot someone sent me a screenshot of in Arena. I have no clue how they did this, but probably don't try to replicate it, and I just kind of hope it gets patched soon because this is insane. But if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so I can keep making more of these videos. And one last thing I want to say is, without any of you guys watching my videos, I wouldn't really have any point in making them. So to end off some of these videos, I'll be showing fan mentions like Omniscient Wolf here, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, who I encountered in a game yesterday who's a big fan of the channel. So if you want a chance to get mentioned in an upcoming video, make sure to say hey if you get into a game with me, and until then, I'll catch you in the next upload.